There's much fog. No one can see anything. Which is probably what I want to talk about actually. Christmas is like an interesting, this time of year is an interesting one because it's a time, say, it's supposed to be a kind of love and togetherness, merriness. But also, you know, I think the reality is it's actually very traumatic for a lot of people during this sort of time. Today, like going around and delivering to lots of people, a lot of people seem really drained, you know. So yeah, I think that's just I think I'm trying to just strike a common bone with everyone. Is that you know, it's a time of year where just take deep breaths, go for nice long walks, get your energy back up. You're not alone, because I think there's a lot of people out there that kind of are struggling a little bit mentally, like with their mental health, because of these situations. I mean, I was married before, and like I've been divorced, and I know what it's like to have arguments and disagreements, and to love someone but hate them at the same time. Like, oh God, that's the worst. It's the hardest feeling, isn't it? Like, it's hard to talk about, but I want to talk about it because, you know, I think like this is a similar thing we all have to deal with from different perceptions. You know, these things, everything you talk about has a contradiction. And so it has an opposite of what I'm saying. So you can disagree with me. Everything that I've just said, you can literally find a way to disagree with me. I'm just trying to paint a picture of what is like I think, a common thing that happens in reality. You know, if I haven't thought about something, please let me know in the comments below. Hey, how you doing, guys? It's Sunday, 20 to 4, just finished my first route, and I'm going back to base, so that's pretty cool. It's a real chilly day today. The fog is still with us. It's been foggy for the last, I don't know, 3-4 days? I think since Christmas, really. It's been a bit crazy. There's much fog. No one can see anything, which is probably what I want to talk about actually. Is I think I noticed, I mean, I hope you had the start off properly. I hope you all had a very nice Christmas, and you know, you've had time to relax and reflect on like on a nice time, either being with family or friends. I hope you have. If you've been by yourself, then my love goes out to you, and I hope you're not feeling lonely or isolated, because you know, anyway, I always reach out, you know. Yeah, I think Christmas is like an interesting. This time of year is an interesting one because it's a time, say, it's supposed to be a kind of love and togetherness, merriness, but also, you know, I think the reality is it's actually very traumatic for a lot of people during this sort of time. I think not only because of maybe expectations from other people, and you know what you have to kind of traditionally have to kind of achieve during Christmas time, but also you know, you have to get, you're kind of thrown into a mix of people that either your family or old friends, and you kind of have to kind of, you know, have time and energy to get on and enjoy it, and it can be a bit frustrating. And I think I said that in my last video about like kind of frustrations of like what you want. So everyone could have like their ideal Christmas, like what they have in their head. But if you're not meeting that other person's expectations, then you know, there could be frustration. Like personally, like I'm really chilled when it comes to this. Like I you know, I haven't always been, but like I tend to, you know, you have to make the best of the situation you're given, don't you? And like whoever you're with, and you can't expect people to kind of be on form and have energy, and you can't expect yourself to have energy and be on form and be social. You know, we're all different creatures, and so I touched on it in my last video. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of like just highlight really, because I've just today like going around and delivering to lots of people. A lot of people seem really drained, you know, like really drained, like, and I don't know, it's maybe because they're very relaxing. It's been a very busy time of year, but hearing conversations, I've been in the sauna, hearing conversations that other people have been having, and a lot about kind of disagreements with their families or friends, and you know, getting along with each other. So that's like, you know, if this resonates, great, let me know. And I can understand not everyone gets on with their family as well as they like to, have to deal with difficult characters. So yeah, I think that's just I think I'm trying to just strike a common bone with everyone. Is that, you know, it's a time of year where just, yeah, take deep breaths, go for nice long walks, get your energy back up. You're not alone, because I think there's a lot of people out there that kind of are struggling a little bit mentally, like with their mental health, because of these situations. I just have to be careful here because it's quite a fast junction. We got it. Yeah, I find it quite interesting. Well, I think with any kind of disagreement I can think of, I think namely it's communication, but I think what drives communication is the inability to see the other person's point of view, and like where it's coming from. So, you know, I think sometimes you might feel that it's, you know, other people don't deserve the time and patience and compassion to give them, because you've given them enough chances. And you know, if you are that kind of close to the edge with someone and you've kind of taken them to court mentally, you know, like you've brought a case ahead of them and you showed them Exhibit 1, you did this at this time, B, you said this, C, you didn't care about that, D, you blame me for this, blah blah. Like, that's a really bad situation to be in, like, because there's no love there. It's just judgment, and there's no loving judgment. So, I mean, if that really is happening, I think it's best in that circumstance just to leave it alone. Leave that person alone, because you know, you're like, I think any kind of disagreement you have, you're generally kind of upset, you know, and if it's with someone, you're upset with them because they don't feel that they're understood, or you're showing love to them if they're a family member or a friend. So yeah, I think it can probably be very difficult in that sense. Like, so, and of course, yeah, we talk about, the judgment, and unfortunately, when it comes to friends, family is a bit difficult, because families you can't really choose. And I've heard people talk about family members not even talking to each other. This is for years, over a disagreement that might seem like a massive thing at the time, but as the years go by, it actually isn't that bad. But they haven't made up for it because of things that are said. And that's what I'm saying about the dangerous territory. If you go past the judgment and you talk about stuff and you say stuff that you can't take back, it can really hurt. We all think stuff when we're in a disagreement with someone. We always think stuff, don't we? Like, it's blah 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 blah, and it's really annoying. So that's the time where you really need to damage limitation, really, and try and work a way of communicating to get through it. It's hard to talk about, but I want to talk about it because, I think this is a similar thing we all have to deal with from different perceptions, and it's difficult as well because if there's anyone who knows me and I've had a disagreement with them, I'm trying to also talk about that as well, and I don't think on my radar there's that many. I've had a few disagreements, I said recently, due to different reasons, and I still love those people, and I don't think I've said anything that went too far, fortunately. And I think that takes a bit of practice and a bit of humility. Is this the right word? Just trying to get through that moment, understanding the bigger picture. I just really feel if you're having a disagreement with someone, boyfriend, girlfriend, this is a prime thing. I'm single, I don't have a girlfriend, and a lot of time when I'm thinking about it, actually, it's been quite peaceful for me in that sense, because I don't have many disagreements because I've got my own company, but it's hard when you're in a relationship and you love each other so much to be in a relationship, but then you have to kind of make the thing work, and you get sometimes locked in this kind of really strange battle where you're both hurt, and there has to be a judgment, and you have to have this kind of really delicate conversation to try and get through it and get the time past. Because if you are together in a relationship, you're either seeing each other a lot, you're the person they see the most, or you live with them, or you're sharing a lot of your life together. And so that is in particular. Just put my fog lights on because it's quite foggy on this hill. What's this guy going to do? Is he going to let me go? I can't talk and drive at the same time. Is he backed off? He's backed off. Great. Good job. To kind of be locked. I was married before, and I've been divorced, and I know what it's like to have arguments and disagreements, and to love someone but hate them at the same time. Oh god, that's the worst. It's the hardest feeling, isn't it? Really I think just really got to be careful with each other's mental health during these times, and in general as well. I really don't I don't see there's I don't see a world in my reality of where I'm trying to win and better the other person, to outdo them. I don't see the point in that. You're just going to end up power, yielding power over other people for what? I think everyone, you have I don't know what's the most humane way of kind of putting this. you have a certain amount of credit. This is very humane. So you have a bank account as your friendship or your marriage or whatever, and you're kind of constantly making a transaction. And if you just keep on borrowing and not pay back, then your credit runs out, and then you get to this point where like you got to get the point. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, if people keep on sniping at you and like doing these things to you, like you run out of patience, and you're just to a point where like, you know what? I mean, if it's a friendship, you can say, okay, you know what? I'm going to walk away from this, or give you time at least. Same with a relationship. Maybe it's best to do that. Like if you can't get through that time and find a compromise or a way to kind of communicate, to step on, because it's eggshells otherwise, then you need to either give that person space or decide that, we've tried that, it's not worked, we need to move on. Where's your sense of humour gone, man? Come on, we're in this life together. But that's it. It can get really toxic, can't it? And like characters like your mums, your dads, your aunts, your grandparents, whatever it is, your cousins, your brother, your sisters. Their relationships, I think, like, are probably have the most amount of credit with, because they're your family, they're your siblings. But also, you've got to. These are the kind of relationships you've got to take care of, because you only have one. I have a sister, I have a brother. I only have one of each. Like if I was married, I only got one wife. I don't have a harem of women. So those relationships you choose to kind of bring close to you, they're the ones that deserve the most amount of credit. Sorry, it's a really rubbish metaphor, but you know what I mean. It's like a way of transactions. Is that it's just maybe because these things, everything we talk about has a contradiction, and so it has an opposite of what I'm saying. So you can disagree with me. Everything that I've just said, you can literally find a way to disagree with me. I'm just trying to paint a picture of what is I think a common thing that happens in reality. If I haven't thought about something, please let me know in the comments below.
Don't go by your family's judgment, because there may be many local prejudice, We don't know. Vested interests. Family, neighbors, friends, these are all vested interests. If you don't do what they think you should do, they will think you have fallen. 33 years ago, everybody thought I have fallen and lost my mind. Okay. Today the same people clap their hands, that's different. Because that's for a different reason. But I'm saying, even if you've taken a positive step, somebody else may be saying something. So I don't want somebody else's evaluation of who you are.
Unconditional love. Yeah, unconditional love. In order to have unconditional love for someone, do they have to love you back?
There is no one human being anywhere who, when it comes to simply loving, because I see everywhere people say, Sadhguru, can we have unconditional love? I said, become a dog. He's already achieved it, I'm saying. If you are a human being, unfortunately, there are conditions and conditions and conditions and conditions.
I love you.
The conditions.
And I think that's pretty hard to do that all of the time. I mean, you can try and practice it, but I think with the way some people kind of switch on and switch off with you into kind of like like if showing love and being very compassionate with you, to kind of literally just going into like judgment mode, or like a cold mode where they're not really thinking about that. It's just something else. It's a structural thing. It's a practicality thing. So yeah, I think it's very varied about that. I think that's the kind of spectrum we can talk about, and I think it's safe to say, we're all on a spectrum of some kind. I don't know what kind of spectrum I'm on, but I'm talking to a camera in my life. No, I know you're there. I know you're listening, right? So yeah, it's a spectrum, isn't it? And it's waves. It's an ocean. So we've got to find our own space, our own calm, provide the space for people. If you feel that things are going to go downhill quite quickly, and don't take it personally, don't take it to heart. We're all doing our best, right? And if someone's not doing their best, walk away, because you've got to protect yourself. And it's forgivable. If someone isn't really on it, it's forgivable. Find those things that are forgivable. Forgive people for what is forgivable. Walk away from things that aren't. Give them time, give them space, and hopefully things will come good. Check me out, Guru Stew in the truck. Guru Stew. Anyway, I'm just arriving back at base. I just wanted to mention that because that's been a theme of today, where I've seen people not looking or having the most shiny amount of energy today. So I kind of just wanted to touch on that. And personally, I think I've had a really nice. I'm very fortunate. I live with my family. We know each other. We know when to leave each other alone. And so it hasn't been a dramatic one for me. But I'm also, I'm reaching out to people that haven't had that same experience. So love you loads, and I hope that just don't take it personally if you've been hurt. And maybe if you've hurt someone, and just give them some space, give them some time, and things should come good. Anyway, I might see you later. Depends on batteries and stuff. But anyway, take care. Love you loads. Bye. my route done. Now back at space. I have one more shift to do this year. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's been quite a busy one this evening. I've been around a lot of countryside, as you probably could have seen. Yeah, like lots of little lanes and difficult places to find. But I prefer that to what you saw earlier with towns and being in kind of more built-up areas. I like the adventure more of being out in the countryside. Yeah, it's just nicer, I think. I prefer it. It's also just a bit more of a challenge as well. Like finding different properties, like you go onto farms and you're finding like the lamb shed, or the dairy or something, or the manor of some kind, and you go around this tiny little lane and you arrive at this big kind of like stately home or something. So yeah, it's quite interesting. You never know where you're going to end up. We're coming up to New Year's, and it's Sunday today. Tuesday's New Year's Eve. So maybe this will be the last video I get to do before New Year's. So I want to wish you Happy New Year. So we get to kind of go again another year. Try and enjoy it, It's we're so lucky to have what we do have. And wherever you are in the world, wherever you're doing, we're lucky to be here. What do I want to do for the next year? Well, I'm sure there'll be like many more videos of what I want to do, what I have ideas to do. There are some elements, about yourself, like changing how I live, like living more in a van, living more cheaply. I've got to start paying back this debt I just borrowed, so I get to grips with the new financial part of my life. Get my, I'm gonna pass my driver's license for my my trucks, for HGV. So once I do that, I'll be hopefully looking for a new job, it'd be amazing. A new challenge, new experiences, some more money, which is good. And a new routine to my work life, really. So hopefully I can strike a nice balance with it all. So that's one massive thing I'm going to be changing. In my own hobbies, I love walking, so I want to be doing more walks together, with other people or by myself. I really would love to do some more long walks. I love that. I did the Cotswolds Way. I love that so much. Just actually wild camping. So I'm looking forward to a new landscape to travel through, and maybe try a bit more ambitious routes, and also maybe I was thinking about kind of a bivvy bag, which is a little kind of like a little bag, so you can just sleep not in a tent. It's like a little mini tent, like a little bag you can kind of crawl into. So yeah, it's much lighter. Maybe a tarpaulin. So that and the tarpaulin, I figured that'd be quite cool. So yeah, lots of things I'd like to try. But yeah, I know it's bit by bit, and I've obviously got my allotment, ready for I've got to get it ready for spring. I've got to get myself a plan for the seeds, things I'm going to grow. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how that works. Yeah, lots of different elements, and yeah, it can only be bit by bit. So there is a lot of positives to work on and to focus on as well. While other things tick on, and there are you obviously have to get on with others, and you have to collaborate. You have to progress through the rules of this game we all have to play. So yeah, that's all really nice. I think I've got to grips with that. I feel a bit more chilled. Now it's after Christmas. It's still fairly busy, but I think the worst of it's over. Now I can kind of start looking at the new year, and the days are getting lighter, and positive things, positive, but also respecting the negative, because that's how we grow.
So the coming new year, do you have the courage to commit yourself to something which is larger than yourself? No other creature has this how to expend their life. It's all fixed. We have this how in our hands. How am I going to expend this life? This how is in our hands. How beautiful, how profound, how magnificent, or how silly, how useless, how lethargic. So, Sadhguru, are you preparing us for a New Year resolution? I won't do anything silly like that.
Oh man, I need to stop talking. Alright, love you, take care. What am I like?